Welcome back to my channel. This time it's about IELTS reading, and I'm going to give you the most important techniques, which is skimming and scanning. This is a must-learn course. Alright, skimming and scanning are both reading a text quickly. But what is your reason? However, each is done for different reasons and purposes. So we have to find out the reasons, or we have to find out the purposes. This is a tip from an IELTS highest scorer. One of your biggest challenges in the IELTS reading is time. Indeed, time is very limited. You only have 20 minutes to read a passage and complete it with answers. We have 3 passages, so we have 60 minutes. But you only have 20 minutes to finish one passage and answer it. So, being able to skim and scan quickly will make you successful. Skimming. What is skimming? You read quickly just for the main idea of a text. And this main idea is also called topic sentence. For skimming, you need to find the main idea. For skimming, you need to find the topic sentence. Note, do not think about specific details. Now, where can you find the main idea of a paragraph? So you just skim the paragraph. Most probably, the topic sentence is located in the first sentence. Most probably. This is the most common location. Most probably, the main idea is written in the first sentence of the paragraph. Note, it happens, although not very common. Main idea can be located in the second sentence because of the writer's style. But normally, it is located in the first sentence. The other location is in the last sentence. And this is the less common location. Sometimes main idea is written in the last paragraph. But once again, mainly all the texts will have the topic sentences. The main ideas are located in the first sentence. Now let's take a look at this text as an example. So there is a text here on the left, and on the right there is instruction. What is the main idea of the first paragraph? Let's focus and concentrate only on the first paragraph. Just skim the paragraph. Most probably the main idea is written in the first sentence. So this is the topic sentence. This is where the main idea is located. Science is the systematic exploration of the world around us, from the vast reaches of space to the tiniest particles. So this first sentence is the topic sentence. We have the second sentence, third sentence, fourth sentence. Everything is only the explanation of this first sentence. The details for the first sentence. Now take a look at the title of this passage. Unraveling Nature's Mysteries, the Journey of Scientific Exploration. It's about exploration. Scientific, systematic exploration. The next one is about scanning. So what is scanning? You read quickly just for specific detail. And there are 3 steps. The first step is you find the keywords in the question. So we go to the questions and find out the keywords. Step 2, you find the keywords, same words from the question, but we find these keywords in the passage. Step 3, answer is in the sentence where the keyword is. So once you find the keyword in the passage, you can find the answer in the same sentence. Right, there are some more tips from the IELTS high scorer. This is tip number 1 for scanning. Answer to scanning questions can be anywhere. So it can be in the first sentence or last sentence. It can be in the middle too. Tip number 2, which is very important. Be happy if in the question there is details such as number, date, year, address, city, etc. Because all these details are very unique and then later will be very easy to find in the passage. This detail will lead you to find the sentence in the passage. And if you find the sentence already, then you can find the answer. Right, take a look at this as an example. There is a text on the left, and then there is a scanning question, number 1. In fact, there are 2 questions. Take a look at number 1 first. What is 50% conducted in English? So now we have the number or percentage 50%. And then this is the note. Good, we have the details such as number, percentages, names, cities, etc. Because they are unique, we can find them easily in the passage. In this case, wow, there is 50% over there in the passage. And then we can read the sentence. 50% of all business deals are conducted in English. And that's it. That's the answer. The answer is business deals. What about the next example, number 2? What is 70% written in English? There is another number or percentage, which is 70%. And then we can find it again in the passage, 70%. And then we can read the sentence. All mail is written and addressed in English. So the answer is all mail. That's it. So it's quite easy, isn't it? Now we need to familiarize ourselves about skimming and scanning. So there are some topics here, and then we need to be able to decide between the 2. For example, you look at the newspaper to see if there is a film on TV tonight, skimming or scanning. Number 2, you look at a train timetable to see when the next train is due. You need to decide a long article Right, the next one. We need to get ourselves used to the idea of skimming or scanning. There are some topics here, and then we need to decide whether it is to skim or to scan. Number 1, you look at the newspaper to see if there is a film on TV tonight. Number 2, you look at a train timetable to see when the next train is due. Number 3, you need to decide if a long article will be useful for some research you are doing. Number 4, you have a meeting in 10 minutes and you haven't read the report you are going to discuss. Okay, let's discuss one by one. Skim or scan. Number 1, You look at the newspaper to see if there is a film on TV tonight. So you take a look at this. Is this the one? You skim through. This is only comic strip. Is this the one? And then, oh, yes. And then you read, you scan it. What time is it? What TV station? Is it a film? Yes. So in this case, you scan it. What about number 2? You look at a train timetable to see when the next train is due. On the right, you have a train timetable, and then you need to read it very carefully and you search for details. Otherwise, we can miss the train. So take a look at this. So 10:43, or maybe 11:01, 11:07, 11:16, and then we check the time very carefully. We search for the details, and in this case, this is to scan. What about number 3? You need to decide if a long article will be useful for some research you are doing. So you only need to decide long article is useful or not. So you don't need to find the detail yet. And in this case, you just skim. You read the first paragraph, you read the second paragraph, you read the next chapter, and so on. The next one, which is number 4, you have a meeting in 10 minutes and you haven't read the report you are going to discuss. So in this case, you need to skim through to get the main ideas of the report. And then you cannot see the details yet. And in this case, this is to skim. Okay, that's it for skimming and scanning. Let's go with more practice, because practice makes you perfect. Okay, there is a passage here. And the passage will be retyped and made visibly readable on the next slide. If you find a passage like this is the thing you need to do, which is step number 1. Skim through and get the main idea. Skim through and get the topic sentence of each paragraph. There are 3 paragraphs, A, B, and C. Okay, there is a passage here, and then we can read it. Studying abroad, or simply planning a nice trip to an exotic location. Unfortunately, while people might be understanding, if you have problems with the language, they are less likely to be forgiving if you break the unwritten social rules. Did you know, for example, that in Japan, it is considered rude to blow your nose in public, and heaven forbid you put your cotton handkerchief back in your pocket? You might also be studying and socializing with people from all over the world. A few helpful tips will ensure you avoid upsetting your hosts or even your fellow students. Okay, the topic sentence or the main idea are sentences in pink highlight. It's not the first sentence, but it's written in the second sentence, because the writer starts with a question. Studying abroad, or simply planning a nice trip to an exotic location. So this one is only something that leads to the topic sentence. And the topic sentence is, unfortunately, While people might be understanding if you have problems with their language, they are less likely to be forgiving if you break the unwritten social rules. And then you can see the sentences in blue, supporting sentences. Did you know, for example? So it starts giving an example. For example, this one. For example, this one, to support the main idea. Now let's take a look at the second paragraph. The best advice we can give you is to learn some of the local customs of the people you will be spending time with. Let's say you have arrived in Asia and you are sharing a meal with newfound friends. You might feel very satisfied with yourself if you can use chopsticks when you are eating, but make sure you don't point with them. Many Asians consider it rude. And don't forget to check who should start the meal first, you or your hosts. Different countries have different rules about this. Speaking of food, when eating in certain provinces in China, it is considered bad luck to turn over a cooked fish. And Italians like it when you show your appreciation of their cooking, so never refuse a second plateful. So once again, the topic sentence or the main idea is in the first sentence. The best advice we can give you is to learn some of the local customs of the people you will be spending time with. And then the sentences in blue are supporting sentences. Let's say you have arrived in Asia. So this is an example again. This is an explanation of the main idea. Let's continue with the third paragraph. Behavior connected with the body can be confusing because of social differences. In Muslim cultures, for example, people avoid using the left hand to give and receive. Many people in these cultures eat only with the right hand, and they might consider you impolite if you use your left. But if you are given a business card in a country like Singapore and you don't accept it with both hands, you will be showing disrespect and the lack of interest in the person giving the card. In Britain, shaking hands is mainly done between men, and often only the first time you are introduced, but this is becoming less common these days. The Italians kiss and shake hands, but be careful, it's twice, once on each cheek. The Belgians may kiss 3 times, alternating from cheek to cheek, and the French? Well, whole books been devoted to the subject. So once more, the first sentence is the topic sentence where the main idea is located. Behavior connected with the body can be confusing because of social differences. And all sentences in blue are supporting sentences. The next one is step 2. Now scan for specific detail in the questions. Look, now scan the article to find the answers to the following questions. Number 1, in which country is it bad luck to turn over a cooked fish? Number 2, which cultures avoid using the left hand to give and receive? Number 3, how many times do Belgians kiss each other on the cheek? Let's find the keywords from the questions and also the keywords in the passage. Number 1. So we have the keyword cooked fish. And then we need to find out the same keyword, cooked fish, in the passage. Then I choose paragraph B. And the next one is bad luck to turn over. So it's also there, bad luck to turn over. And then we read the sentence. Speaking of food, when eating in certain provinces of China, it is considered bad luck to turn over a cooked fish. In which country? And then now we know the answer is China. Yes, the answer is China. Second question. Which cultures avoid using the left hand to give and receive? We have the word or phrase left hand. And then we can find out the left hand in the passage. And then that's the sentence. In Muslim cultures, for example, people avoid using the left hand to give and to receive. Which cultures avoid using the left hand to give and receive? Is Muslim cultures. So the answer is Muslim cultures. Number 3. How many times do Belgians kiss each other on the cheek? So we have the word Belgians, kiss, and the cheek. Then we have the word Belgians, kiss, and then cheek to cheek. How many times? And then the answer is 3 times. So the answer is in that sentence. Indeed, the answer is 3 times. Okay, that's it. Now please get ready. Are you ready for more practice? This time it's about true, false, and not given questions. True, false, and not given. Task practice. Questions 1 to 8. Do the following statements agree with the information given in the passage? Next to the questions 1 until 8 below, please write true if the statement agrees with the information, false if the statement contradicts the information, and not given if there is no information on this. Question number 1. People may sympathize with you about how difficult it is to study English. Number 2. People will be angrier if you don't understand the language than if you don't understand their customs. Number 3. Japanese people think it is impolite to blow your nose around other people. Number 4. It's a good idea to find out about the habits of the people where you are going to live. Number 5. It's impolite to use chopsticks with your left hand. Number 6. Italian meals usually consist of several courses. Number 7. Muslims will think you don't know how to behave appropriately if you use your left hand for eating. Number 8. In Britain, shaking hands is equally common among males and females. Let's discuss one by one. Number 1, we can see the keywords sympathize with you about how difficult it is to study English. Let's go find these keywords in the passage. And it's here. People might be understanding if you have problems with their language. So the answer is true. And this is the explanation. People understand or people sympathize if you have problems with language. They are less likely to be forgiving if you break the unwritten social rules. So if there is a problem with the language, they will understand it. And they are not forgiving if you have problems with social rules. Question number 2. People will be angrier if you don't understand the language than if you don't understand their customs. Similar keywords. So problems with the language, or if you break the unwritten social rules. The answer is false. So people will be angrier if you don't understand the customs. Not if you don't understand the language. But if we don't understand their customs, we don't understand their unwritten social rules, they become angrier than if you don't understand their language. Question number 3. Japanese people think it is impolite to blow your nose around other people. So we have Japanese, blow your nose, and then simply we can find the phrase blow your nose in the passage. Around other people, so we have the word Japan, we have the word in public. So this is the sentence. And then we have the word impolite, and in this case, in the sentence, we have the word rude. So impolite means rude. So the answer to number 3 is true. So in Japan, it is considered rude to blow your nose in public. Now, if it's the question number 4. It's a good idea to find out about the habits of the people where you are going to live. And then you can see in the first sentence of the paragraph, the best advice we can give you is to learn some of the local customs of the people you will be spending time with. And the answer is true. And this is the reason or the explanation. Local customs is the same as habits. People where you are going to live is the same as people you will be spending time with. That's why the answer is true. The next one, question number 5. It's impolite to use chopsticks with your left hand. And then we search for the word chopsticks and also the phrase left hand. And then we can find the sentence there. You might feel very satisfied with yourself if you can use chopsticks when you are eating. But make sure you don't point with them. And the answer is not given because there is no explanation whatsoever about using chopsticks with left hand. In the passage, it is written, use chopsticks, but we cannot use to point people with them. Let's go with number 6. Italian meals usually consist of several courses. We have Italian meals and several courses. We have Italians there. And then, so it must be the sentence. And the Italians like it when you show your appreciation of their cooking. So never refuse a second plateful. So there is no mention of how many courses there are in an Italian meal. So it is not written there. That's why the answer is not given. Question number 7. Muslims will think you don't know how to behave appropriately if you use your left hand for eating. And then we have the phrase in Muslim cultures, and then people avoid using the left hand. So in the sentence where the blue highlights are, is only the beginning, and it needs further clarification. That's why we go with the next sentence. Many people in these cultures eat only with the right hand, and they might consider you impolite if you use your left. And in this case, it's exactly the same as in the question. So they might consider you impolite. So that's why the answer is true. Question number 8. We have some keywords there. In Britain, shaking hands, equally common among males and females. Let's find out the word or the phrases in the passage. We have Britain, and then shaking hands is mainly done between men. That's why the answer is false, because in the passage it's written, in Britain, shaking hands is mainly done between men and not males and females. Okay, I think that's it for this course now. IELTS reading, most important techniques, skimming and scanning. If you like and think that this course is good, please share and you can consider subscribing it. Thank you and goodbye.